these are the blades, the folders, pocket knives, whatever you want to call them, that I could find right now, sort of in this moment. I know I have more. There's a couple more in particular that I can think of that I just have no idea where they're to. And this planning for this video kind of made me think, like I haven't seen that knife in probably a couple months. I wonder what happened to it. So, like I said, this is not an exhaustive list, and I've certainly had a lot more folders than this, and I've given some away. I've lost some. One very funny incident in particular, I lost one in the ocean. Ray Bartlett can remember that when he watches this video. But I'll run through the list from, I've organized it a little bit from the first one I got all the way up to the latest one. Okay? So I'm just going to run through them, not too much time spent on each one, but we'll go into it a little bit. This one precedes the others by quite a bit. Now, like I said, I've had lots of folders in the past. I grew up with little pocket knives as a kid, but ones that I've actually kept and that were decent are on this table, or ones that still exist right now, I guess I should say. So this is a Schrade X timer. I was probably preteen, early teenagers, and I stood at my oldest brother's wedding, and he gave all the groomsmen knives, and I got this little Schrade X timer, which I thought was wicked at the time, and I still think it's a great little knife now. I don't have many Schrade products, but I'm actually a pretty big Schrade fan. I think they do, they provide a lot of value for the cost. This is a great little knife. I believe it's in 440C. The blade shape in particular is great. It actually takes a wicked edge. Frame lock, all blacked out. It's a great clip, although it's only one way positionable. So if I could change something, I like to carry my knives orientated the other way. But yeah, thumb stud opening. This is a great little blade, and it feels actually great in the hand. I really like it. I know it's a little bit different style, but it's pretty cool, and I don't think you can get any more. It'll definitely always stay right there in my collection. On from that is a Kershaw Wildcat Ridge. This was my first, probably, this Buck 110 style lockback folder. Nice knife, I believe 8CR13, Kershaw's 8CR steel. Definitely like this knife. It's got a satin stainless finish. Looks almost like maybe a walnut there. Clip point. It's a great knife. Hadn't seen much use, really. I've used it maybe a couple times, and it just mostly sits in the cabinet. It's definitely a nice knife. If you're looking for a good value folder of this style, definitely look into this. In the exact same category, we have the iconic Buck 110. This is my first Buck 110, and it is a beauty. It's just their standard model, just the most basic model, 420 high carbon steel, clip point. If you don't know the history on this knife, or it's kind of new to you, I definitely recommend reading about this knife. Read up on it. This was essentially the founder, the very first of all the lockbacks of this style you see now. So you can thank Buck and this blade for that lockback design. Such an iconic knife. This is a real nice grain pattern on this one in particular as well. Beautiful. Moving on, cool story behind this knife. This is a Spyderco native. I believe it's the Nato 5. Probably my most carried knife of all time. This is such a fantastic blade. Just everything about it is perfect. Absolutely perfect EDC, tactical style. It's just got the most grip and traction with all those choils in there. Super sharp jimping along here. Great shaped blade, spear point. It's a great piercer, great cutter. S30V, man, you just can't beat it. I'd say the only way, and I know Ray Bartlett would argue this, the only way, I should say Ray Bartlett would support it. The only way this could be improved is I know the Spydercos don't fall within the classy type of knife. There's no brass, there's no gold, there's no wood, nothing exotic. It's just pure function. Super light, super tough, just meant to be used. Right? Kershaw, oh so sweet, the 1830. Love this knife. This was my first assisted opener, and you can imagine I played with it a lot. 8CR, love Kershaw's 8CR steel. Definitely an interesting texture pattern on there, which kind of looks cool, but is actually provides quite a bit of traction. Super fast opening. This knife has been used a ton as well. Very interesting piece here. I bet most of you have never seen is the Buck Vantage, but this is a discontinued. This was like a limited edition model. This is the Paper Stone Vantage. This is this material here. It's, if you can't tell, it's a blue. It's a dark blue, but it's sort of a mixy pattern. And these scales are actually made of recycled paper. Got that nice classic big sweep on the Vantage blade. Very nice knife. You got this mirror polish along here as well. It's nice. It's got the hole here in the blade for opening. It's a bit of a heavy knife and a bit chunky. It's a great value, but it is a little bit thick, you can see here, so I don't prefer it too much to carry, but I do like to take it out once in a while. I especially don't give it any hard use just because the model's discontinued, and I definitely wouldn't want to mess it up. Definitely a keeper. Classic Ontario Rat that pretty well everyone knows about. Ontario Rat is such sort of an iconic, everyone's got one type knife. This one originally came in pink. I put the clear Lexan scales on there. You can see the screws through there. Made those myself. The Weeder fan, the W, is actually engraved right into the steel liners. So, not the best job on it, not most proud of it, but I do like carrying it for fun once in a while. And there's that classic, beautiful blade profile actually. This knife is shaped so well. Osage steel, not bad, a little bit soft, but it runs well and it sharpens very easily. Swiss Army, this is, I can't remember which model this is now because I'm not great with all the names of the Swiss Armies. This one was a gift from Everyday Knife Guy, Cameron. Thanks so much, buddy. You can see that it's definitely received a lot of use. It's not as pretty now as when it came, but this sort of swayed my opinion on the Swiss Army knives. I was never a huge fan, always had one or two, but was never a big fan, but man, this sure changed my opinion on it. You see a lot of Swiss Army knockoffs, which is what I think I always had. Ones you could get in dollar stores and stuff for like $4 or $5. And that's where I formed my opinion of Swiss Army. But once you've owned a true Swiss Army knife, you know, you don't get those for $4 or $5. I think this knife ran around $50 if I checked right on Amazon. A whole different story altogether. This is just a fantastic knife. Kershaw Skyline was one of the next ones I got. G10, this is a cool blade. Heard about this knife from Nothing Fancy. He raves on and on about it, and I really like it. Not super attached to it for some reason. Just, I don't know, just a little bit plain for me. I did try to spice it up by polishing the bevel. It's really dirty there now. There's junk on it. But I mirror polished this this primary bevel here. Hollow ground. Such a great spear point blade. Good choil here, so lots of traction. Flips well. Cool knife. Then you have Kershaw Blur. Now this is a cool knife. I believe anodized aluminum, T6 aluminum handle scales. You have a Track Tech insert there, which if you've never felt one, it's rubbery. It's very sticky but super tough rubber. It's almost like the grip tape you see on boat decks. This is dyed aluminum, not a paint, so this will never come off. You got that black DLC coating on the blade. This is a serrated model. These serrations are wicked sharp. Very cool blade, flips well. Excellent pocket clip, except this Track Tech stuff here tears the pockets to pieces. But this is a really cool knife. Next blade is Spyderco Tenacious. It's a full black edition. This knife hasn't gotten a ton of use. It's 8CR13 MOV steel, Spyderco's version. I like Kershaw's 8CR a lot better. Spyderco's a lot softer in my opinion. This is a great knife though. You got a lot of traction there with that G10. Bit of a choil here, but that ramp is what really locks your hand in. Good 4-way positionable pocket clip, which is excellent. Good pocket clip design, fairly deep, really strong wide clip. Good blade profile, except I don't like the steel, like I said. Definitely a cool tactical looking blade. And given that everything is completely black screws and everything, it doesn't show up much in the pocket, which is good if you don't want it to get noticed. Kershaw Cryo, this is the 1556. So this is a smaller model. This is a Cryo and the Cryo 2, which is a nice bit bigger. This one's sort of closer to a 3-fingered knife. Fantastic pocket clip on these. This knife has actually not been heavily used. Nice little knife, but it is in pristine condition. Love the color. Love the color on these. And this little one in particular, I prefer this little one just because the entire knife is stainless steel construction, and they are fairly heavy. So my dad actually has a full-size one. It's a bit heavy for me. Probably my first or second favorite knife in the collection. Spyderco Delica 4 full flat grind. Man, if you don't have one of these, you gotta get one. So good. Not the cheapest, but just such a fantastic knife. You can see the wear there on the clip. I don't know what more to say about this one. You just gotta get one. VG10 steel. Traction is perfect. Blade profile is perfect. It's just a perfect EDC. My grandfather's Opinel. This is, I'm not sure what number. This is a number 9. Number 9 Opinel, made in France. Underwent a mild restoration. Polished the blade, sharpened it. It's a cool piece to have in my collection. I don't carry it. This one sits in my little shop here, and it sits in with my woodworking tools, my chisels, and stuff like that. And I use it sort of for crafting leather and different things like that. I don't want it to get lost. A wedding gift from my wife. A lot of people like this. I love this knife. This is just a Kershaw leak. It's dirty there now. That's actually not marks. It's just dirty. This is a Kershaw leak, and it was customized by Texas Tool Crafters. And it's actually I believe a 24 karat gold plating on the entire knife. Definitely a cool look. Definitely a conversation piece. It really shows up in your pocket. And I don't use this one for much EDC because of course gold is a little bit soft, and I don't want to tear up the finish. So I wear it lots of times on Sundays if I'm not going to be beating around at anything, so it doesn't get wrecked up. Cool knife. I can't remember if I mentioned now, but it was my wife gave me for sort of a wedding. I don't know how to say it. For the wedding. Whatever. This was a gift from my cousin and good buddy. You've seen him on a couple videos. Call him Scott in the videos. This is CRKT Nerk tie. And out of all the blades I have here, this is definitely the most unique. It's a huge blade, I believe over 9 inches long. And it's just a crazy design. The technology in this blade is unreal. I've carried it EDC once or twice, but it's a little bit intimidating to take out of your pocket. Definitely a cool conversation piece. You lock into that handle there, you're not going anywhere. But if you can see, this entire handle is one integrated piece. It's just one piece of CNC machine, perhaps aluminum. It's pretty light. And when you bend this lock here, if you notice right here, that's your retention for keeping the blade open. If you can see that notch. See that? So bending this bends this entire piece of steel here. and it's a bit tough actually to push down on. Moving on in time a little bit more, I got this little Victorinox, and if somebody's looking for a little backup blade, this is a super cool model. I've yet to get one of the A-locks, which is kind of on my list. This knife is disgustingly dirty. It's a two-bladed model, but like I said, it's a great backup knife. Great knife if someone says, hey, you got a knife I could borrow? You pass them this one. Not one of these. You pass them this. Such a cute little blade. Not very intimidating as well if you're in like a government building or somewhere where you don't want to pull out your full-size knife. You pull out this little one to get a splinter out of your hand. Nobody's going to give you a second look. Made well. Just a cute little knife. At the same time I got this one, I also got this. And this is a beauty. Gift from my parents. This is a Boker Gent 2 Damascus model. It's all ebony wood here on the side, which is just gorgeous. Super deep carry pocket clip. And this is a lovely Damascus. Did a video on this a while ago. Don't need a lot of talking about it. Definitely a beautiful knife. Conversation piece as well. Not many people have seen Damascus. This is a second Buck 110. It's a beautiful knife. I got this one. My wife got it for me because it's the 50th anniversary one, and I wanted the 50th anniversary when they were celebrating it. I just wanted that model to keep. This one doesn't get used. This is probably one of my only knives that has never been used. I don't even really like to touch the brass on it because you know how it stains and darkens. And then I think my most recent folder purchase was this case that I recently did a video on. And man, this knife is beautiful. You just look at that. Some people don't like shine and polish. I like shine and polish, especially on a piece like this. That is just gorgeous. Nice stamps. Everything about this is nice. Really happy with the color I chose. It's just so classic looking. I love it. Great knife. Last knife I picked up just a couple days ago. This is the used. I just got it with a deal with some axes. This is a Kershaw 1970. I actually wasn't going to show this knife in the video just because I don't really intend on keeping it. Note, if someone wants to buy this knife for a good price, send me a message, comment down below or something like that. Let me know and we'll get it shipped off to you. This is a cool blade. I went on to Amazon to actually see the price of this. The 1970 was something like, it's selling for like $50 now. And it's an 8CR steel. The snap on this one is so good. Just feels great. It's a good, good profile blade. Feels great in the hand. Lots of traction. Just a cool blade. So I figured I'd show that. And like I said, if anyone wants to buy it for a good price, let me know. So that's it, guys. That is my collection of knives that I have right now. My folders. Some of them don't get carried often. Some of them constantly get carried. I.e. the native here. Hope you enjoyed it. Please hit the like button. Leave me a comment down below. Tell me what you think of these knives. What's your favorite? That's what I'd love to hear. Subscribe to my channel if you haven't already. Thanks.